To my Western Cape Retirement Village talk and blog post. I've identified retirement villages as a niche that I can talk about, and the reason why I'm talking about that is because our ideal clients is staying in security villages, retirement villages and complexes, and there's different names for them, and I think I've done about 10 posts on it now, and this is my very first video. So I do not physically go to these places. I beg your pardon. I do not physically go to these places. I study them online, and I create my blog posts from the information that I get online. So it's quite a big task, and I'm not editing all my videos, so I really apologize for mistakes. So I just shoot the video in one take and I put it on. Otherwise, you spend all your surplus time that you've got on making these videos. So if you search Western Cape retirement villages, that's too big. You're not going to find anything. You've got to really reduce your search to a town or a suburb of a town to find something. And I just want to show you on a map what I mean. So the Western Cape is the fourth largest province in South Africa. It's 129,400 square kilometers, and it's about 400 square kilometers smaller than the Free State. That's actually quite interesting. Those two provinces are almost identical in size, and obviously the Northern Cape, the biggest province in South Africa, almost more than double the size of the Western Cape. What I wanted to show you is the map. So here you can see the Western Cape quite clearly, and it starts here just on the other side of Pietermaritzburg Bay, and then all around the coast, Cape Town on the west coast. In Afrikaans we call it the Weskus, and I think in my blog post I said that it goes all the way to Namibia, but that's not the truth. The Northern Cape slips in there. So Namibia is just sitting at the top there. Then the towns. It starts here with Vredendal and Klein, and then at the coast, Lambert's Bay. Very popular towns for South Africans to go on holiday, and there's a lot of people now starting to retire in those areas. I had the privilege of going on holiday in Elands Bay. It's sitting just here on the bottom of Lambert's Bay, and we flew to Cape Town once, and we hired a car and we went to Lambert's Bay for a kreef. They call it a kreeffees, and so it's a festival, crayfish festival, and there's a famous restaurant there on the coast. I can't remember the name on the top of my head, but it's actually world famous to go and eat there between Elands Bay and Lambert's Bay. Then if you go to this area here, Saldanha Bay, it's actually this lagoon. There's a place called Langebaan, and there's a lot of development taking place there. A lot of people from Gauteng is migrating to that area, and security complexes and retirement villages is springing up in this area. Then if you drive from that area to Cape Town, it's almost city all the way. So you're going to drive through Darling, Malmesbury, those places, and then Paarl, Wellington, Stellenbosch, Somerset West. All those towns are sitting on the outskirts of Cape Town, and Cape Town is really quite big. It takes up all this area here. If on one of my previous blog posts I wrote about Durbanville, and Durbanville is sitting right there somewhere. So it's very close to Blouberg Beach, and what's famous about Blouberg Beach is that picture that I've showed you in the beginning of my blog post, where you can see Table Mountain. That picture is taken from this coast here. So you've got a view of Table Mountain, and Table Mountain sitting right there. in that thing there, where the W and the N is. That's where Table Mountain is. So I think the purpose of me showing you the map is, if you search for Western Cape, it's really too big. I just want to talk a little bit more about the towns in this area. I go to George quite often because my one brother stays there, and my other brother is staying there in Cape Town, a place called Melkbosstrand. And the three of us, we normally meet in Montetjie, and it's almost halfway to drive there. And we do the trip on a motorcycle, and then we've got the privilege of riding on our bikes on all the dirt roads in this area. And it's just the most beautiful part of South Africa for me. I love it. Plettenberg Bay, I used to go there as a kid with friends of mine. Their family had a holiday home there, and that's actually where I fell in love with this area. Knysna, very famous and popular area, and it's got that big lake there. You can actually see it on this map. And this whole area, there's a lot of development taking place. If you drive from George to Mossel Bay, that's almost done all the way. There's a lot of small holiday towns in between, and that's where a lot of South Africans go on holiday. In December and in the April holidays, and myself and my wife just been there 2 weeks ago, and there was a lot of people there, even in winter, because the weather is so great. It was cold in the night, but during the day it's like a summer's day, and I couldn't actually believe the weather in the winter. Oudtshoorn has got a couple of retirement villages. In Afrikaans we call them ouerhuis or old age homes, and apparently the price of I didn't start any studying on Oudtshoorn. I just from a good friend of mine is staying in Oudtshoorn, and he told me about the old age homes in Oudtshoorn, and they are popular because well managed, and this is a very neat town and well managed. And then the rest, that is a very small town, but it's famous for its coffee shops, and there you go through Meyringspoort and to Prince Albert, and there's a lot of people, art people going to Prince Albert, and there's a lot of things happening there. If you drive in those town, it's just coffee shops from the one end of the town to the other end of the town, and people like to go there. And I haven't studied it yet, but I'm quite certain that there should be old age homes and retirement villages and even security complexes in Prince Albert as well. And I've been to Laingsburg recently. Myself and my brother went to a farm there on a motorcycle, and but I don't know a lot about Laingsburg. That's one of those towns, when you come from Joburg to Cape Town, it's one of the towns that you've got to drive through, and I don't think anybody stopped there to look at the town. But myself, I was amazed about how beautiful this area around Laingsburg is, and it's really something to see. And then Montetjie, famous for his dry fruits and the fruit production in that area. And I can talk about this Western Cape for hours. I just love it, and I like it to travel. And what you should actually do is you must take a road trip and start on that site, and then make your way all the way to Cape Town, spend some time there, go to the wine farms, and then drive all the way to George, Knysna, Plettenberg Bay, that area, and then visit all these small towns and explore South Africa and the places. For me, if I need to retire in one of these towns, I really wouldn't know where to go. I like this Mossel Bay, George, Knysna area, And I think that's probably where I will end up if I had to move. And but from the study that I'm doing, there's some beautiful places there as well. If you Google most popular towns, I just want to show you this. So you just put in Google most popular town in Western Cape, and then this will pop up. And it starts with Cape Town. Now, there's Table Mountain, and there's the famous new stadium that they built when we had the Soccer World Cup in 2010. And it sits on the foot of the mountain between the sea. And really, I don't know if you've ever seen a rugby match in South Africa, but they've got those aerial photos that I take of the stadium and the area, and it's really magnificent. Paternoster is there on the west coast. Hermanus, that's a popular town for people to go and retire in. Stellenbosch, like I said, the wine farms, and then I've got something to say about all these towns. Go and look at them. So if you want to retire in this, you've got to go and decide in what town you're going to retire in. The Western Cape is too big. I quickly want to show you some of the villages, and especially this one website. Where is it? This one here. I want to congratulate these people creating this website. It's really magnificent. They must have done it with a drone, and it shows the golf course. And golf courses in the Cape Town area, if you're into golf, you can really go and play golf on a lot of golf courses. There's golf courses all over that Cape Town area, and I'm sure if you're into golfing, you can go and play on a different golf course on every day of the week. There you can see the mountains. I think that area there at the back must be closer to Stellenbosch. There are the people playing croquet, something, bowls, I'm not sure, and playing tennis. The other retirement village I've got a beautiful big website for on the internet is this Bridgewater Manor Retirement Village. I see they're building it in partnership with Old Mutual, so there's money behind this development. Prices from 1150. There's 140 units, and ranges from 1 to 2 bedrooms. And if you're going to stay in a retirement village, that's what you need. The prices here is a lot cheaper than the other one. I think on that other Helderberg, if you look at the prices, properties, I had a look at some of the prices. There's a place for 10 million, 5.3, 4.3, 5.6, 5.2, 4.6, 3.1. So you can see some of these places really expensive. If you are not from South Africa and you're looking to come and retire in South Africa, I think you can see some of the quality of the properties that we've got here, and the development is amazing. The exchange rate, I think, makes it really, people will be able to, with pounds and euros and dollars, get a long way in South Africa with their money. I think that's it for this video. I hope to see you in one of our next videos. I'm really going to build this to a big website, and it's one step at a time, and see you in the next video. Cheers.